Unit 5, Lesson 8. Focus on mathematical practices. Quick practice for today. How many quarts in a gallon? What is one formula for finding perimeter? And 60 kilograms equals how many grams? Go ahead and copy these down in your journal and solve now. For Unit 5, Lesson 8, Activity 1, Math and Gardens, we're going to be looking at measuring gardens. What do you know about gardens? Well, I know that gardens come in all different shapes and sizes. We have a school garden. There are gardens in our backyards. There are community gardens. Gardens can be vegetables, fruits, flowers, herbs. Gardens are found all around the world and can be any shape. Long and slender. They can be nice and square. Today we're going to look at a Dutch garden. Go ahead and look at your page 189 in your math books. Gardens come in all shapes and sizes and can include flowers, vegetables, and many other plants. A Dutch garden is a type of garden that is often a rectangle made up of smaller rectangles and squares called flower beds. A hedge or wall is often placed around the perimeter of the garden. Dutch gardens are known for having very colorful, tightly packed flowers. The Sunken Garden is a famous Dutch garden at Kensington Palace in London, England. Jared looked up some information about taking care of a garden. He discovered that you need to water and fertilize a garden regularly to help the plants grow. The information he found is shown in the table at the right. Fertilizer, 4 ounces per 100 square feet. Water, 30 gallons every 3 days. Use the diagram below to answer the questions. It shows a planned flower bed for a Dutch garden. The perimeter of the flower bed is 200 feet. So we see that the garden is the shape of a rectangle with a perimeter of 200 feet. The length of the known side is 10 feet. So 2 of the 4 sides are 10 feet. The amount of fertilizer to use is calculated based on the area of the garden. The amount of water needed is a specific amount every 3 days. This is the information that we have been given. Let's write an equation. How can I write an equation to find the answer to the unknown size? I know that my equation for perimeter is length plus width plus length plus width, or 2 times length plus width, or length times 2 plus width times 2 will give me my perimeter. We're going to use an unknown variable. We're going to use a variable for our unknown. So let's write out what the equation would look like. If I use length plus width plus length plus width. I don't know my length, but I know my width. I don't know my length, but I know my width. And it's going to equal 200. Remember, my length will be the same. So I know that 10 plus 10 is 20. So I'm going to take away 20 from 200, which leaves me with 180 feet. Now, how do I figure out from 180 feet what my answer is for this question mark? I know that this cannot be 180 feet, because whatever it is here, it has to be the same here. So in this case, I'm going to take 180 and divide it by 2. I'm going to break it in half because I want to know what each side is going to be. 2 cannot go into 1, but 2 can go into 18. 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract, bring down my 0. 2 cannot go into 0, therefore my answer is 0 on top. So 180 divided by 2 is 90. Therefore my length equals 90. I can also test this out by doing 90 plus 10 times 2. 90 plus 10 is 100. 100 times 2 is 200. Go ahead and answer questions 2 through 4 now. Go ahead and turn your books to page 190. Now we're going to look at rectangles in gardens. Padma wants to create a rectangular shaped garden in her backyard. She wants to have a total of 3 flower beds, 2 of which will be the same size. She drew a diagram of how she wants the garden to look. Use the diagram to answer the questions below. Her diagram shows 14 meters, 7 meters, 4 meters, 4 meters. For question number 5, it says, what is the perimeter of the entire blue section of flower beds? Well, this is the blue section, just to make sure that we are on the same page. And I don't know what my numbers are over here. But I can see that if it's 4 meters on this side, it will be 4 meters on that side, giving me a total of 8 meters on one side, 14 meters on top, 14 meters on the bottom. Using the formula 2 times 14 plus 8, I will reach my perimeter. Go ahead and do this now. For question number 6, which section of the garden has a greater perimeter? The green section or the entire blue section? And how much greater? In this case, you still need to show your work even if you know the answer already. You need to know what the perimeter of the blue section is, and you need to know what the perimeter of the green section is. I found the perimeter of the blue section from number 5, so I can use that number. And to find the perimeter of the green, I know that I'm going to have 7 plus 7 plus 8 plus 8. When I find the answer to that, then I will know which one has the greater perimeter. To figure out how much greater, though, I will need to subtract. Go ahead and do this now. Question number 7. What is the area of the whole garden? For this question, you will need to know what the whole area is for here and what the whole length is for here and what the whole length is for here. And remember, we're going to use the formula length times width equals area. Go ahead and fill that in now. Question number 8. Padma decides to plant tulips in one of the blue flower beds and roses in the green flower bed. Compare the area of the tulip flower bed and the rose flower bed using greater than, less than, or equal to. Go ahead and do this now. This concludes Activity 1.